All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We got some playoff games to talk about, some conference finals games to talk about. Took a little bit of a break, took a 1 day break. I wanted to get at least 2 games done in each series in the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. One of those series has concluded. That was Timberwolves Thunder, and then Pacers Knicks play tonight for the Pacers to advance to the NBA Finals. We're going to talk about the games a little bit. I want to talk about, obviously, what's going to go on with the Timberwolves in the offseason. We'll talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder, how they got to the NBA Finals, and all that good stuff. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment them down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. All right, let's jump into it. We are going to go backwards. We're going to talk about the most recent game, and then we're going to talk about game 4, Pacers Knicks, where the Pacers went up 3-1 in the series against the Knicks. But I do want to talk about Oklahoma and the Timberwolves because it's the freshest thing on my mind at the moment. And I do want to congratulate the Oklahoma City Thunder on advancing to the NBA Finals for the first time in over a decade. It's a huge accomplishment, not only for the franchise, but the team that is so very young and was built the right way. Everybody on that team earned everything that they have, and it's a great story. And we'll talk about them a little bit. Let's move on to the Timberwolves, however. The Timberwolves disappointedly lose in the conference finals for the second year in a row. Last year they lost to the Mavericks, and the Mavericks advanced to the NBA Finals. Um, Sort of under similar circumstances. I will say, looking at it right now, from 2021 to 2023, those 2 seasons, or well, I should say, from 2021 to 2022, they lost in the first round. From 2022 to 2023, they lost in the first round, and then the past 2 years, they've lost in the conference finals. So they have improved dramatically as a team. I want to preface that because I am going to say some things about this team that I think are true, and they're my opinion, but I'm going to say them. Um, I said it at the beginning of the season, and it held pretty true for a majority of it. Then Julius Randle started playing a bit better. Um, Jaden McDaniels would have these games where he was pretty decent, and Rudy Gobert obviously showed up to close out the Lakers series in the first round matchup they had. And I'm gonna keep saying it, man. I felt like they didn't have enough. If the goal is to just get to the finals, right? Just get to the finals. You don't have enough. You have enough to get exactly this far, to get to the conference finals. Beyond that, I I think it's a very tough go with the group you have right now to get to the finals. Um, I I stand by this. Julius Randle's a nice player, right? He's okay. He had a really bad series this series. He's a let me see. Is this that's a player option, yeah. So he has a player option for next year, 2025, 2026. He has a player option for next season, right? It's $30 million. It's actually a $3 million decrease from where he's getting paid right now. I think the thought when you got Julius Randle in the Karl-Anthony Towns trade was that I think everybody thought he was going to play bad. Oh, he was going to play bad, but he was going to play good enough to where you maybe think, oh, we could probably opt out of the deal and we could pay him less, or he could walk to another team and he's not our problem anymore, right? Because Julius Randle was essentially a 1 year rental this year. And I think he fulfilled that role very well. They got to the conference finals. Um, this is the first time he played in a conference finals series because he was injured the last time the Knicks made it, so he didn't play at all. He was there, he was on the roster, but he didn't play at all. He didn't get any minutes. Um, and I don't think Julius Randle is the type of player that needs to be around a young explosive, in the paint guard like Anthony Edwards. Julius Randle has moments where he shoots the three ball very well, where he looks electric. The guy's 30 now. He's not getting any better. He's not getting any better. This is who Julius Randle is. There's no changing what he does. The same things that happened in this series happened his whole career essentially, right? And the product is what he is, right? And Julius Randle probably isn't your second best player on a championship team. Maybe not even your third best player on a championship team. Same goes for Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is such a negative on every team he's been on. It frustrates me to my freaking core because he's literally all defense. There's not a single post move to his name. He can't do anything outside of dunk the ball and lay it up a little bit, maybe a putback every now and then. But Rudy Gobert is also another guy that doesn't need to be around Anthony Edwards. Doesn't need to do it. Doesn't need to be there. You look at a guy like Naz Reid, who is also scheduled to be a free agent. He has a player option this year. He's actually has a $15 million player option for 2025-2026, which, seeing the way he played in this series, he might take that player option to stay, build up his value again, and then enter unrestricted free agency in 26-27, right? Once you get past 25-26 season, the books start to really open up a little bit. They start to open up. You have guys like Mike Conley who comes off the books. You have guys like, oh geez, you have guys like let's see here, who else am I looking at? Oh, you got guys like Robert Dillingham, Terrence Shannon who are on team options. The team can pick them up, and it's only $6 million here, $2 million there. Josh Minot off the team by then. Luka Garza probably off the team by then. Did not get barely any playing time this series or this season. So the books do open up for them. The immediate future for them, however, before I start rambling, the immediate future is not looking good. The two guys you basically have here until the end of the decade, willingly have here, right, is Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels, right? Those are the two key pieces you'd really want to keep. They're both Jaden McDaniels is 24, Anthony Edwards is 23. You want to try to retain a guy like Naz Reid, 25. Dante DiVincenzo is still on this team. He had a great game. What was that game? Game before this one. Game 4. He had a great game 4. Or one of his better games of the series. And yeah, the vision is Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and hopefully Naz Reid. And then you build around that, right? Rudy Gobert's 32. I would try to get off Rudy Gobert as soon as possible, because the money's only going up. It goes up $1 million each year, and then it goes up $2 million on a player option in his last year. I would try to get off him this year because he had a pretty good playoff run. I think you need more dynamic scores around Ant, and what I mean by that is some guys that aren't just catch and shoot, guys that aren't just one-dimensional guys like Rudy Gobert, like Julius Randle. Julius Randle has added more dimensions to his game, but is still not as. Again, he's 30. He is who he is. He's not going to change his play style. He's not going to change what he does. He still makes boneheaded turnovers. He still takes crazy, like wild shots, and you're like, why did he take that? Stupid fouls. Just all around. Not the second best player on the championship team. Not the third best player on the championship team. Those are just the facts. And I don't care what Rudy Gobert does on the defensive end. It obviously didn't do anything to stop the Oklahoma City Thunder. You say, "Oh, well, it's a bad matchup." Well, guess what? A lot of the league is younger. A lot of the league is more versatile than what this team was. This team is more traditionally. They have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Literally, by textbook definition, they have a point guard, Mike Conley. You have a shooting guard, Anthony Edwards. You have a small forward, Jaden McDaniels. You have a power forward, Julius Randle, and you have a center, Rudy Gobert. By archetype, by textbook definition, all those players fit those categories. That is not how you win in the NBA. You need to have a little what do you call it? A little more diversity. It can't be so cookie cutter. And I think I said this, I don't know if I said it on this channel. I think Anthony Edwards, his true position would be point guard in this day and age. It would be point guard. I think his true what do you call it? Potential lies at point guard. Like every great shooting guard has to do in their career, I think. Um, James Harden has done it. Devin Booker has done it. Um, you have to play some point guard because point guard takes a lot more responsibility. You have to distribute the ball. You have to bring up the ball. You have to be careful with your shot selection. You have to make sure everybody's involved. And this is not an indictment on Ant not being a good leader, but more so it's he needs to go through those growing pains because this series showed a lot of growing pains for Ant. His shot selection in these last two games horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Some of the worst shot taking I've seen. Either he does too much or he does too little. He hasn't found that healthy medium, especially with his kind of play style. Where this season he had the best it was the best percentage, right? The best percentage and the most attempts with three, which was really good. And you say, oh wow, that's nice. He didn't come in as a shooter. He's worked on his game a lot. Whatever, right? He's improved. And then you get overconfident, And then when you're like, oh well, I'm a good 3-point shooter now. Let me not go to the basket as much. But then when the three doesn't fall, you're like, oh, let me get back to what I was doing again to the basket. And when you start going to the basket, you're not getting the same foul calls. You're not getting the same treatment. This, that, and the third. And it's hard to find that medium, and he does need to find that medium. And I've said it a lot in these past couple of videos. His shot diet needs work. It needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work, and I don't think the team around him, as currently constructed, would allow him to grow. I think they are trying to mask his mistakes. I think they are trying to not baby him, but trying to let him make his mistakes, but still compete, right? Which is good, but at the same time, it's like you need to let him fuck up. You just need to, and you need to bring in somebody else who can take the pressure off of him, but can also teach him, right? I'm trying to think. Has Anthony Edwards played with anybody that's like notable? Besides Cat, of course. If I go to his page right here, he was drafted in the 2020 draft. Yeah, that weird draft. The 2020 draft. Oh, wrong one. Pardon me. Wait. I'm pulling this up. It's not the wrong draft. It's just the wrong thing I'm opening here. Let's see. He's played with. He's played with D'Angelo Russell, Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio's okay. I'm just trying to get a semblance of like, has he played with anybody that actually wants to teach him a thing or two, like give him game and stuff? He's played with Patrick Beverley. I think Patrick Beverley has played a big piece in what Anthony Edwards is now. Let's see, one more season. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. This was the team from a couple years ago. This is the team with Cat. Yep. This one they got Rudy Gobert. Yep. Um, Played with Austin Rivers. That's notable, I guess. Kyle Anderson. What I'm getting at here, before I start going off on a tangent, um, they need to bring in somebody who can really, who's not the player specifically, but going to try to expand Anthony Edwards' game and the way he plays basketball is what I'm trying to get at here. Anthony Edwards has been in the league 4 years. He's been to the conference finals twice, which is nothing to be like, oh, he's a bad player. He's never going to win a championship. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time for Ant to improve. There's a lot of time. He's only, what is he? He's 23. There's a lot of time for Ant to do a lot of things. but you have to jumpstart the process. If I'm the Timberwolves, I want to jumpstart this process as soon as possible. And by the time because you really hit your prime around like 27, around that ballpark. So 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, right? So by the end, he's going to be 27 by the end of the decade, close to 27 by the end of the decade. I would not be surprised if they run this team back, but they do need to bring in somebody. And I've I've seen rumors floating around of they could go get Kevin Durant. I think that's a great idea. Ant and Kevin spent a lot of time together in when they were Team USA this past summer. Their relationship looked great. Um, and Ant really likes him. Ant is Katie's one of Ant's favorite players growing up. Um, I think that'd be great for them. Other than that, and here's the thing: they would also have to want to come to Minnesota and play with Ant. Minnesota is not as easy to sell as you think it could be. Even though they've been to the conference finals twice, they could do it next year too. They could do it 3 years in a row and still lose. And then you start really having the conversations of should Ant stay in Minnesota, and we're not even going to touch that. But those are the things that you think of, and it's tough in this NBA climate where you get so close, you get so close, you get so close, you get so close, and it's always the same things going wrong for you. And you start blaming yourself, you start blaming the people around you, start blaming the front office, and you really have to start thinking, do I need a new scenery? I don't think Ant's thinking like that. I think Ant at least has, what was it, 7 more years as a Timberwolf, but past that, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let's talk about the game a little bit. Talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder a little bit. The Oklahoma City Thunder won the series and won this game 124 to the Timberwolves 94. There's really not a lot to talk about here. The Oklahoma City Thunder ran them out of the gym. The Oklahoma City Thunder had great defense. The game was over at halftime. It was truly over at halftime. Um, I was out and I was watching this game. They had it on, and about like how about after the first quarter, I was like, I'll watch this, but I'm not gonna have my eyes glued to it. And yeah, it shows the defense that the Oklahoma City Thunder played on the Timberwolves shows. Anthony Edwards only had 19. Rudy Gobert had 2 points. Again, not gonna harp on it. Rudy Gobert isn't that guy. He's not that guy. Jaden McDaniels 5 points. Julius Randle struggled this whole series. He had 24 points. I will say the craziest thing that the Oklahoma City Thunder did this game is I've never seen a double work so well on two players as well as they have worked on Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle, especially Anthony Edwards. Every time Anthony Edwards had the ball, there was a crowd. There was like two white jerseys. There were oh, pardon me, there were two blue jerseys just swarming him, three blue jerseys swarming him. It was crazy. And in this modern NBA, you really can't do that. But with the team that the Minnesota Timberwolves have put around Anthony Edwards, the Oklahoma City Thunder could do that because they're like, oh yeah, let Jaden McDaniel shoot. Rudy Gobert's not going to shoot the ball. Julius Randle's going to take a stupid shot. Mike Conley had 0 points this game. They could just double Julius and Anthony till their heart's content because nobody was making shots. Nobody was playing good. Naz Reid had 11 points. Terrence Shannon had 11 points. Didn't matter. It was a bad game, and the Timberwolves went out pretty sad. Um, let's move on to the Oklahoma City Thunder here. Not much to talk about what they did. They had a great game, and they showed why they were the favorites all year to make it to the conference finals and then the NBA finals. This was the game. This was the game we're like, oh, they're too young. But when you're young, you have energy. You can bring that defensive intensity. for a full 40, well, not even a full 48, a full 24, 20, yeah, 48, yeah, 24-minute quarter or a half, pardon me, and you can just put these guys through a wall, and they're not going to get back up. Chet Holmgren, 22 points, 3 blocks. Jalen Williams, 19 points. Isaiah Hartenstein, 8 points. Lou Dort, 12 points. And the Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and your NBA regular season MVP, had 34 points, 2 steals, 8 assists, 204 from 3, and 14 of 25 overall from field goal. Isaiah Hartenstein also had 2 blocks and 2 steals. Yeah, this was the game, man. And to talk about them a little bit, just to give them their flowers. Again, man, this team was built such the right way. They have a great coach in Mark Dagnall. I think he said it in his post in his when they were on the stage and everything, and they were accepting the Western Conference championship trophy. He said, the front office never judged me on bad seasons. They judged me on how I could build a culture, how I could mold these young men, because they're all very young, into professionals and into um, real players, And obviously, you give credit where credit is due. Shea worked on himself, made himself an MVP. Lou Dort was on a two-way contract or a G League contract, and they brought him in that 2020 bubble year when everybody was in the bubble and they were playing down in a Disneyland. Jalen Williams wasn't really considered to be really anything except just another guy on an NBA team. And then Chet Holmgren has had his struggles, but I don't think the team and Mark Dagnall ever gave up on him. You bring in guys like Isaiah Hartenstein, you bring in guys like Alex Caruso around the edges to really fill out this team with veteran experience and guys that have been there, done that, been one of the key pieces on it, playoff caliber teams, championship level teams in Alex Caruso's case. And you really make a competitive roster and one of the most competitive rosters I've seen in a long time. And that swings perfectly into the next series and the next matchup for the Oklahoma City Thunder, it looks like. The Pacers. The Pacers got the win in their last game in game 4 to take a 3-1 lead on the Knicks. They won that game 130 to the Knicks 121 behind a Tyrese Halliburton triple-double. 30 points. I can pull it up. I have it right here. What am I talking about? I'm trying to go off the top of my head. 30 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, 0 turnovers. He's the third person to do that in NBA history, a 30-point triple-double in the playoffs with no turnovers. He's only the third person to do that. We will talk about this game. I do want to say it does look like, again, as I said, it looks like the Thunder are going to play the Pacers in the NBA Finals, and it's going to be super interesting. The one thing I will say is that I saw this on Twitter too. NBA fans get so mad when big market teams make it to the finals. They're like, "Oh, it's rigged," you know. The NBA wants big markets to win. They can't. The little guy can never win. And then when the little guys win, when the small market teams win, like Oklahoma and Indiana, they're they're like, "Oh, nobody's gonna watch this snooze fest." This is boring. I'm not gonna watch. The duality of an NBA fan is always so interesting. You can't win when it's the big market, and you can't win when it's the small market. Sports is sports, man. I think it's it is it is gonna be a little boring to be like in Oklahoma and being like Indiana. You're not gonna get that big panoramic shot when they pan out and they flash the NBA Finals logo on ABC. You're not gonna get the skyline of like um, San Francisco, of New York, of Boston. It's not gonna sell well. But I think it is good for these young teams and this Pacers team, man. They're so scary. I'm happy I picked them in this series because I had picked against in the past 2 series, and they've shown so much determination, so much good stuff. Um, talk about the game a little bit. Tyrese Halliburton again, 30-point triple double, um, 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 4 steals. He had his hand in the cookie jar. Um, Pascal Siakam 30 points, Aaron Nesmith 16, huge. He was dealing with that ankle injury. He did play through it, got 16 points out of it. Miles Turner 13 points, and yeah, got a little bit from Benedict Mathurin, a 20-point game in here, and they were the pace. This is funny. This is not a joke. The pace this Pacers team plays with is so insane. I love it. I think the most interesting part about this hypothetical matchup against the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Pacers is that the Oklahoma City Thunder is almost all defense. Like that's what their first prerogative is defense. What the Pacers' first prerogative is offense. It's going to be a defense versus offensive battle. It's going to be a little different for Tyrese Halliburton um, going against the Oklahoma City Thunder team with Alex Caruso, with Lou Dort. It's different than getting guarded by like these Knicks guys. These Knicks guys are good, but they're not Lou Dort and they're not Alex Caruso. I'll tell you that much. They're not those guys. That Oklahoma City Thunder backcourt defensive duo so much better than this Knicks team. Um, any duo of this Knicks team on defense, any duo. Um, yeah, man, the Pacers just ran him out of the building. That's all I can say about this game. I have nothing to say about it really. I think they the Pacers again. This is a full 48-minute team. The Pacers are. You gotta keep up with them. You gotta minimize the mistakes. At the end of this game, both teams really got a lot of mistakes, and that's why the final score was so close. But they got so many mistakes. There's so many stupid turnovers, and Tyrese would come in, he'd clean it up a little bit. He had some stupid turnovers as well. Well, not he had some stupid like I'm gonna pass it to this guy, and then the guy after passed it, and it was a bad pass. Obviously, Tyrese had 0 turnovers this game, but I'm just saying like the offense ran weird. Like the normal stuff they would try to do didn't work towards the end. They got the win nevertheless, but you could see the Knicks starting to catch on to it. But it was too late for the Knicks. The Knicks just didn't have the firepower to do it. I mean, you get 22 points from OG Anunoby, you get 24 from Karl Anthony Towns, you get 31 from Jalen Brunson, you get 17 from Mikal Bridges. You just can't ask for more from this team, and I can't imagine how demoralizing it is for you to have this good game. If this Knicks team plays this exact game with these exact stats, they usually win it. But against this Pacers team, they just can't seem to get it done. There's that last little bit that they need. They can't find it. They can't find it in anybody. I mean, Josh Hart 12 points, like Mitchell Robinson 6, Miles McBride 3, DeLon Wright 3, Landry Shamet 3. They just don't have that extra oomph. And like if Carl has 34 instead of 24, it's a different game. But I'm not here to talk about if or when or this or that really. And they play tonight in the Garden. Will the Pacers be able to close it out? I think. Oh man, I think they might be able to. I would not put money on it that they would be able to, but I would not be surprised. These Pacers have not been scared of anybody in any building this whole playoff run, and it's gonna be loud in the Garden. It's gonna be loud in MSG. The fans are gonna be crazy. I think it's important to get this one though. I think it's really important. You go back to Indiana, it's not going to feel as good. I think if the Pacers can do it in New York and send themselves to the NBA Finals for the first time in what was it, a quarter century or something? It's been a long time for the Pacers. Um, it's going to be crazy in there. Uh, that's it. That's it for the video. I don't think I have anything to plug or anything. Go watch some other videos. I guess there are a bunch that have been uploaded. There's gonna be some WNBA talk this Friday or this weekend, and you can check that out as well. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers.